Sometimes the softest voice carries the heaviest truth. Curious thoughts are stirring today. Who is this man whose presence feels both humble and powerful, whose performances echo long after the screen fades? Today, we explore the life of Robert Duvall, a quietly commanding force in cinema, whose journey from disciplined childhood to towering artistry is filled with resilience, heart, and unforgettable roles. Robert Seldon Duvall was born on January 5, 1931, in San Diego, California. His mother, Mildred, had a dramatic flair, a love for storytelling, and a gentle spirit that nurtured Robert's creative side. His father, William, served in the U.S. Navy, bringing structure and discipline into the family home. Growing up in a military family meant frequent relocations, from San Diego to various naval towns. Robert experienced life in many small communities, even while maintaining a sense of continuity through his parents' love and guidance. The balance in his family life, discipline from his father and imagination from his mother, gave young Robert a foundation of both structure and possibility. It meant meals with a sense of routine, but also bedtime stories that sparked his imagination. In those early years, the home was both a school of order and a workshop of creativity. If you asked people who knew Robert as a child, they'd probably describe him as observant, serious, and quietly humorous. One anecdote from his early days recalls him at around 4 or 5 years old, entertaining visiting family members on his grandfather's ranch by mimicking an elderly cattle drover's slow drawl. The performance was so spontaneous that it turned a marshmallow roasting evening into full laughter, with cowboys doubling over and spilling their drinks. It wasn't planned, just sprang from Robert's keen ear and vivid imagination. Though he moved often, Robert adapted with ease. He blended into new classrooms, new towns, and found joy in noticing what made each place unique. He liked quiet corners in school libraries, soft-spoken teachers, and playing outdoors, especially near trees, woods, or open fields. A shy but steady kid, he had few words, but he listened. Those early years taught him how to observe deeply, skill that would fuel a lifetime of memorable performances. School for Robert meant steady routines, occasional stage door dramas, and plenty of books. He read classics like Moby Dick and Tom Sawyer, and performed in school plays whenever possible, even if it meant borrowing costumes and guiding friends through their lines in hushed tones. After high school, he enrolled in college, focusing on drama. He studied stagecraft, voice projection, and Shakespeare, learning to speak, not just clearly, but meaningfully. Somewhere along the way, he also spent time in the Army during the early 1950s, supporting military operations and discovering that structure and teamwork held their own kind of power. He never saw frontline combat, but the experience reinforced his discipline and humility. After his service, he headed to New York City, determined to study acting in earnest. He enrolled in a respected drama studio, often associated with the Meisner technique, known for teaching actors to respond truthfully in the moment. There, in that city of dreams, he found camaraderie with other aspiring actors, some of whom would become stars themselves. He took odd jobs, teaching, waiting tables, carrying sets, and each day he learned something new about emotion, timing, and the small details that make a character come alive. Robert's first film role came in the early 1960s. He appeared in a small but striking part as a silent figure in a beloved literary adaptation. He didn't speak a word on screen, but he communicated pain, confusion, and masculine vulnerability with just a glance. Though short, this role made people notice him. His face carried stories even before his voice did. It seem like destiny. Here was a man who understood silence and could use it just as the loudest actor uses words. In the 1960s and 70s, Robert Duvall's career blossomed. He took on every kind of role: gruff lawmen, troubled fathers, battle-weary officers, quiet intellectuals. He worked steadily and patiently, building a reputation as a dependable actor. Then came his breakthrough, playing a close, trusted advisor in a crime family epic, the kind of role that requires empathy, control, and hidden strength. It earned respect and marked him as a name people would remember. He continued to choose roles that moved him. In one heartfelt film, he portrayed a downtrodden man learning to play country music again. He sang softly, carried pain, and revealed hope. The performance was so raw and real that he won one of acting's highest honors, finally receiving recognition after years of hard work and dedication. But no life and no career is without loss. At one point, Robert starred in a war-based drama, portraying a tough military officer. He filmed a scene that showed his character lifting a lost child to safety, a moment of tenderness amid chaos. When the movie premiered, that scene was gone. It broke him because it was his favorite moment of the story, and it spoke to what he believed acting could do: show compassion, even in war. Losing it felt like losing a piece of his own heart. Not long after, though, came one of the happiest turns. He starred as a lone man seeking redemption. The role was quiet, reflective, but carried love, longing, and the music of healing. That performance earned him an Academy Award for Best Actor. The award, shining in his hands, felt less like a trophy and more like a promise kept. Decades of truth, discipline, patience, and deep care had finally been seen. Through his long career, Robert took part in more than 70 feature films and countless television projects. Some of the names we remember include a natural-born sports hero myth near a baseball field, a Western landmark where he played a veteran burdened by loss, a self-financed, deeply personal film he wrote, directed, and starred in, showing that artistry doesn't stop at acting, a courthouse drama with emotional scenes between father and son. He also won several major awards: Oscars, Emmys, Golden Globes for portrayals that weren't flashy but unmistakably honest. Along the way, he remained humble, always knowing that his roles were bigger than himself. He trusted subtlety. Now, in the mid-2020s, Robert Duvall is in his mid-90s. He lives quietly on a farm with his spouse, who shares his love for telling stories. They care for animals, grow simple vegetables, and enjoy the kind of peace that can only come after a lifetime of work. He no longer appears every season on screen, but he still checks in on projects that align with his values: films about identity, community, quiet strength. He mentors young actors, encouraging them to listen as well as speak. And he shares stories: how early discipline shaped his view of work, how silence taught him to observe, how a gentle voice can resonate louder than any shout. Robert Duvall's life teaches us that strength is not always loud, that greatness can emerge from stillness, that a long career isn't built on glitz, it's built on countless moments of small truth, honest emotion, and careful craft. From disciplined naval towns to the heights of Hollywood, he carried himself with humility, sincerity, and timeless control. His ability to deliver impact with a look, a tone, a quiet moment is rare and precious. He showed us that to play another human being well, you must first understand yourself, your fears, your gifts, and the quiet voice that spoke your truth. As we end this journey through Robert Duvall's life, remember this: the greatest storms often stir in the softest hearts, and the most lasting performances come from the deepest calm. His legacy is not only in the films he made, but in the lives he touched, actors he inspired, audiences he moved, and a world that learned to listen. Subscribe to this channel for more celeb videos.